Hey guys, we've been talking about jerkbait fishing, and I wanted to give you a little bit of insight on my rod and reel, line, jerkbait setup, and how I progress through several different jerkbaits, depending on the season, how the fish are acting, things like that, the hours of the day, water clarity, things like that. So, first and foremost, I want to talk about rod and reel setup here. I throw a Daiwa Tatula Elite, and this is the 6'9" light jerkbait, light topwater rod. It's a Seth Fighter edition, and then I'm got that paired up with a Tatula SV, and this is the model and rod that I like for jerkbait fishing. The reason is because it has such a soft tip on it. It's got a lot of backbone, halfway back down the rod that I can really handle those big fish, but a lot of tip that I'm not going to pull those little bitty hooks out of that fish. Especially in cold water when they go to surgeon, close to the boat, things like that. I got it paired up on some Invizx 10 pound. Sometimes I'll go down to 8 and even 6, just depending on the water clarity and what you need to get that extra bite. One of my favorite jerkbaits out there is going to be this 110 version. This particular one is a Lucky Strike, but this is a wrapped jerkbait from Crank Wraps, and it looks like gizzard shad. And guys, a lot of times whenever you're fishing out there and you're letting those baits sit for a long period of time, 5 to 8, 10, 20 seconds, whatever the case may be, those fish are looking at that bait and studying it to make sure it looks real before they eat that thing. So I always want to make sure that I'm making it look as real as possible, especially those times when I'm letting it sit there a long time. As far as hooks go, for the most part, I like those EWG style. I like the Finesse Gamakatsu hooks that I change most of those jerk baits out to, especially in the colder months that we have here. And there's a lot of different jerk baits out there, and some of my favorites here. You've seen that Lucky Strike one, but a lot of times I'm going to go with that Pro Blue Megabass 110. If it gets a little deeper, where I want to get down a little deeper, I'll go with that +1 version, same size, but I threw a fishback attack on this one. And the reason why I throw like a more profile driven bait, as far as a fuller profile here with this wrap on it, is in those lower light conditions, whether it be in the morning time, first thing in the morning, or lower light conditions, a little bit dirtier water, things like that. Otherwise, for that clear water, I'm going to throw that Pro Blue or something that's a little bit translucent out there. Now, if those fish are really deep in the dead of winter, I'm going to bust out this +2, this Megabass Vision 110 +2. You can see it's got a much bigger lip on it than a regular 110, and then we can contrast that as well with the 110 +1, where you can see the difference in the size of that bill. And this +2 is just going to get down a little deeper for you, get around those suspended trees, maybe the tops of those trees, things like that. And then on those really sunny days where I think those fish want a little bit more flash, I'll go with something that has a little bit of foil to the outside of it. So hope that helps, guys. Let me know in the comments your setup for jerkbait fishing, what you like throwing as far as colors, as far as sizes, things like that. Hope that helps, and get out there and go fishing. See you guys.